Welcome everyone, it's Nicole from Healthy NYC. Today we're going to be moving through a really beautiful practice to strengthen and stretch the body, and we'll be ending with a breathwork meditation to nourish and balance the mind. I recommend having 2 blocks and a strap for this practice. So let's start down on our backs. Moving into reclined butterfly pose. So place the soles of your feet together, and your hands can either be alongside of the body, on your lower belly, or up over your head. Close the eyes, and just letting gravity do the work here. Settling into our practice and connecting with our breath. And let's bring the knees back in and move your right leg in towards your chest. Your left leg can either be straight, or you can have your knee bent with the sole of your foot on the mat. Just go ahead and sway your hip from side to side. Maybe take some ankle circles, getting some mobility in the hip. And let's move into a twist. So your right leg is crossing over your left, right arm is out to the side, collarbones are facing up to the sky. Take a few deep breaths here into your lower back. And let's come back to center and switch sides. So left knee to chest, right leg is either straight or bent. Swaying that hip from side to side. And let's move into our twist. Left leg is crossing over the right. Left arm is out to the side. Collarbones are facing up. Breathing into your lower back. And let's come back to center. Bring both knees in towards your chest. You can either stay here or move into happy baby by grabbing onto the outside of both feet or your 2 big toes. Your knees and ankles are roughly aligned, elbows on the inside, and pressing that tailbone down into the mat. Getting a beautiful stretch here in the hips. Let's let that go and bring your knees in towards your chest. Give them a little squeeze. Maybe rock a bit side to side. And let's cross up the ankles and coming up to tabletop pose for cat and cow. So you're going to want your knees underneath your hips. Your wrists are under your shoulders. Your fingers are spreading nice and wide. We're going to inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. And exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Just Take a few more here with your own breath at your own pace. Warming up the shoulders and the back. And take one more round wherever you're at. And come back to a neutral spine. Let's walk our palms further forward. We're going to move into our first downward dog. So curl the toes under, your hips are going up and back. Hands and feet are at hip width distance. Fingers spreading nice and wide. Elbows are straight, hugging in that lower belly. And let your head and neck be heavy. You can paddle out the feet here, whatever feels good in the body. And let's walk our hands towards the back of the mat to take a forward fold. Your feet can be hip width distance or a little bit wider. Bend your knees. You can grab onto opposite elbows or keep your fingers down on the mat. Just swaying side to side here. Bring up the neck. And if you're holding on to opposite elbows, just bring your fingertips down on the mat. We're going to move into Malasana, our yogi squat. So heels in, toes out. You can sit on a block here if this isn't comfortable. Nice flat back, and you're using your elbows to gently press your knees open a little bit further. Take a few breaths here. You can close the eyes. Really enjoying this beautiful hip opener. Take one more breath, fingertips down on the mat, and let's roll all the way up to stand, inch by inch, into mountain pose. So your tailbone is down, your shoulders are back, palms facing forward. Let's take a breath here. And let's step to the top of the mat for our first flow. So big toes together, heels apart. Inhale the arms up, look up. Exhale, folding forward, bend your knees. Halfway lift, flat back, shine the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Place both hands down on the mat. Inhale to plank. Exhale to chaturanga. You can take cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths here. You can continue to paddle at the feet, whatever feels good in your body. Right leg rises up to the sky. Go ahead and bend that knee. Open up your hip nice and wide. Both shoulders are pressing down. Straighten out that right leg and let's carefully step it through to our runner's lunge. So fingertips are down on the mat. Back knee is lifted and just sway a bit here back and forth. Getting a nice stretch in the hips. And gently place that knee down on the mat, your left knee. We're moving into our low lunge. So lifting up and out of the back, your front knee and ankle are aligned. Hugging that lower belly in. Both hip bones are facing forward. Nice deep breaths. into that left hip flexor. Bring your fingers down on the mat, and we're going to be taking a hamstring stretch. So straighten the right leg out or keep your knee bent. Both hip bones are facing forward, relaxing the upper body. And let's crawl the fingers forward. We're going to move into our easy twist. So the back knee is up. Your left hand is down on the mat, and reach your right hand up to the sky. Looking wherever is comfortable for your neck. Take one more breath here. You can either stay here or move into Vinyasa, our side plank. So roll over on that left foot and bring the right foot to stack on top. You can either stay here or drop your left knee to the mat. You're supported in side plank. Take one more breath. Bring that right hand down on the mat with control. Move back into your downward dog, and let's take a flow. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Back bend. And exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths here. Stretching out those arms. Fingers spreading nice and wide. Left leg rises. Bend your knee, open up that hip nice and wide. Both shoulders are pressing down. Straighten that left leg, and let's step it through to our runner's lunge. So your back knee is lifting off the mat, toes are curled under, fingers down. And just sway from side to side here. Go ahead and carefully place that back knee down, and we're moving into our low lunge. So lifting out of the lower back, pressing those hips forward and down, hugging in the lower belly. Getting a beautiful stretch in that right hip flexor. One more breath. Let's circle the arms wide, fingertips down on the mat, and move into our hamstring stretch on the left side. So your toes are facing up to the sky. Your leg is either straight or bent. Relaxing the upper body. Let's crawl the fingers forward. We're going to be moving into our easy twist. So right hand is down, left arm is up to the sky, looking forward or up. Take one more breath here. If you'd like to go further, we're moving into Vinyasa, so you're rolling over on that left foot, placing your right foot on top, or your knee is down on the mat. Take one more breath here. Left hand comes down to the mat with control. Press back into your downward dog. And let's take a flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, cobra or up dog. And exhale back into our downward dog. Let's take a cleansing breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Right leg rises, keep it straight and squared, stepping it through to warrior one. So your back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. You have a nice bend in the front knee, both hip bones are facing forward. Reaching your arms up to the sky. Your torso is over your hips. Try to bend bend into that front knee. Let's take a breath here. Circle the arms wide. Clasp your hands behind your back. Shoulders are down. You can either stay here looking forward or take a back bend. Keeping your wrists off your tailbone. And this is mostly about the upper back, so you shouldn't feel any pinching or compression in the lower back. Let's come back up and dive forward for humble warrior. Your head and neck are heavy. Still bending into that front knee. Pressing into the back foot. Take one more breath. Let's come all the way up using your core. Straighten that front leg. Bring your back foot in a few inches to shorten your stance. Both hip bones are facing forward. Let's move into pyramid pose. So inhale to lift the heart. Exhale, hinging from the waist. You can place your hands down on the mat or on your blocks. Making sure that left hip isn't opening up and you're pressing into that back foot. Relax your upper body. Feel free to bend that front knee if you need to. Take one more breath here. We're going to be moving into Revolved Triangle. So this is a really great pose to have a block for to help you lift into the twist. So place your left hand either on a block or on the mat and lift that right arm up to the sky. This is a deep twist, so you can place your block on the highest or lowest setting, whatever works for your body. Take one more breath here. Your right hand comes down. Press into both feet to come all the way back up. And we're going to pivot towards the left side of our mat for a wide-legged forward fold. So both feet are parallel to the short sides. You're going to inhale to look up and exhale, folding forward, hinging at the waist. Both hands are down on the mat or on your blocks. Feel free to adjust your stance here. You can either stay here or clasp your hands behind your back. And let's take a shoulder stretch. Take one more breath here. Bring your fingers down to the mat. Let's crawl our hands forward, pivot towards the top of our mat, and let's move into our flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths here. Left leg rises, keep it straight and squared, stepping it through to warrior 1. So your back foot is spinning at a 45-degree angle. Both hip bones are facing forward. Generous bend in that front knee. Torso is aligned over your hips. It's a nice strong pose, really pressing into that back foot. Let's circle the arms wide, clasping your hands, other thumb on top, shoulders down. You can either stay here looking forward or take a back bend. Keeping the front knee bent. One more breath here. Coming all the way up, and we're diving forward into humble warrior. Head and neck are heavy. Try not to lose the engagement in your back foot. One more breath here. Let's come all the way up to stand. Straighten that front leg. Move your back foot in a few inches to shorten your stance. Both hip bones are facing forward. Inhale to lift the heart, and exhale, hinging from the waist. Placing your hands on the mat or your blocks. The right hip is scooping forward. Relax your upper body. One more breath here. Moving into a revolved triangle, so make sure that your right hand is under your shoulder. You can use a block here or place your hand down on the mat. And we're inhaling that left arm up to the sky. You can look up or look forward. Hugging that lower belly in. One more breath here. Left arm comes back down to the mat. Using your core to come all the way up to stand. We're moving towards the right side of our mat. Both feet are parallel to the short sides. And we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold here. So hands on your waist. Inhale to look up. And exhale, folding forward. Hands are either on the mat or on your blocks. Let your head stay nice and heavy. You can either stay here or clasp your hands behind your back, other thumb on top, and let's stretch into the shoulders. Bring your hands back down to the mat, crawl your fingers forward. Let's pivot to the front of our mat and take a flow. Both hands down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Back bend. And let's meet in our downward dog. When you're ready, right leg rises, straight and square, stepping it through to warrior two. So your back foot is spinning parallel to the short side of the mat, a nice bend in the front knee. Both of your arms are out to the sides, nice and strong. Torso is neutral, and you're pressing that right hip out. Let's reverse. Keeping bend in the front knee, nothing is changing in the lower body. Beautiful side body stretch. Coming back through to warrior two, and let's take our extended side angle. So you can either have your fingers down on the mat, or you can place your forearm on the top of your thigh and take the pose from here. Whichever variation you're choosing, make sure that that shoulder on the left is staying nice and open. You can either stay here if you'd like to go further. You can take a bind. So your right arm is crossing under your right leg and you're clasping with your left hand in the back. Again, making sure that you're not collapsing your chest. Try not to lose your engagement in the back foot. Take one more breath here. Let's come back into extended side angle without the bind. And straighten your front leg for triangle pose. Left arm is up to the sky, shoulder is open. You can either place your hand on a block, on the mat, or on your shin. One more breath here. Let's look down towards the mat. Bend into that front knee. Left knee comes down, and we're going to take a low lunge quad stretch. So left hand is on the mat. You're circling your right arm back. You can either stay in your twist, or if the reach is available, grab on to that foot. And you can always use the strap here to assist with the reach. Pressing your hips forward and down. Just gently let that foot go and move into our flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, back bend. And we'll meet in our downward dog. When you're ready, left leg rises. Stepping it through to warrior two. Back foot is parallel to the short side of the mat. Nice bend in our front knee. Both arms are straight, taking up lots of space here. Torso is neutral. Let's reverse. Take one more breath here. Coming back through warrior two into extended side angle. Take your version of the pose. Making sure that your right shoulder stay nice and open. You can either look up or look forward. If you'd like to go further, you can take a bind. So left arm is going under your left leg and you're clasping with your right hand. Spinning that heart up to the sky. Pressing into that back foot. Take one more breath here. Let's move back into extended side angle without the bind. And straighten that front leg. Moving into triangle pose. Keeping that chest nice and open. Take one more breath here. Start to look down towards the mat. Bend into that front knee. We're going to move into our low lunge with a quad stretch. Right hand is down. Left arm is moving back. And you can stay in your twist or reach for that right foot. Pressing your hips forward and down. Take one more breath here. Gently let that go. And let's take our flow. Both hands down to the mat. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's really stretch it out here. And let's come down to a seated position. We're going to take a twist. So cross your right leg over your left, all four corners of that foot down on the mat. You can hug your knee. Inhale your right arm up and exhale into the twist. Trying to keep a nice straight back here. And let's move to the other side. So your left leg is crossing over your right, making sure all four corners of the foot are down on the mat. Go ahead and hug into that knee. Inhale your arm up and exhale, keeping that length through your twist. Hugging that lower belly in. And let's come back to center. We're going to take one more seated pose before we move into our meditation. So just a seated forward fold, legs out in front. Inhale your arms up and exhale, hinging from the waist. Grab onto whatever is accessible. Feel free to bend your knees. You can make this passive since we're closing our practice. Relax the upper body. And let's roll all the way back up. Let's move into a comfortable seated position for our meditation. So we're going to be working with a 4-part breath today. So we're going to be inhaling for the count of 4, holding at the top of the inhale for a count of 4, exhaling for the count of 4, and holding at the bottom of the exhale for the count of 4, and then repeating. You can feel free to extend or reduce the count based on your level of comfort. So let's sit with a nice straight spine. Your hands can be either on your knees or at heart center. Close your eyes. I'll walk through the first one with you. So let's clear our breath. And let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Release, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And you can continue on your own, and when the mind starts to wander, just gently bring it back to the breath. Let's move through our last round. Come back to a normal breath. Let's take an inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this flow. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.